Reaction time. That's right, we're going to be taking a look at the Gerbil's recent video about what the next era is going to be. But before we begin, ladies and gentlemen, normally on the day of a new marquee release like today, where we have Captain Silvo, the final marquee for the Pirate era, when these characters come out, I always do a giveaway. Now, I am away at the moment, unfortunate family circumstances. Send your condolences to Mrs. Scribble down below, please. I will normally do a giveaway for these, so instead I'm going to be doing it in this video. All you have to be to enter into this prize is to be subscribed to the channel and leave a comment down below with your ally code. I will be giving 5 winners 5 free packs of Captain Silvo. So leave your comment down there, and then we're going to go ahead and check out what the Gerbil thinks is coming next era and what I think is coming. Let's go check it out. And away we go. The pirate fleet is apparently ready.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back.
What's going on,
I'm
Gerbil?
Gerbil. I want to talk about the next era that's arising in about 3 weeks' time. So I think what Capital Games...
3 weeks' time? 2 weeks' time. Right?
is going to do, and I'm going to show you how they've already told us this is coming. I think what they need to do is introduce the next era, not as characters that we chase, but as ships. I think...
So, first and foremost, absolutely, we need more ships in the game, please, CG. We need a new fleet. The Leviathan meta is 2 years old, and I literally have nightmares about it.
In a week or two, they're going to introduce the next era, and it's going to be ships. And I think it's going to be ships tied to the pirates. I think we're getting a pirate fleet. And we'll just go ahead and spoil that right now. It's this right here.
Okay, so I would love it to be fleets. I would love it to be fleets, but I don't think CG has confirmed anything like that. And I don't think it will be. I think it's far more likely we get Force Awakens era that ends up in an epic confrontation for Snoke or something like that.
No, haha, this right here. Get the right screen. There are 2 potential capital ships we could get out of the existing units. They could gate this next fleet behind GL Hondo.
No, they won't.
Which is like I know some of you right now are saying they're never going to do that.
They're never going to do that.
Yes, they will. If
No, they won't.
they think it will make them money. We have given CG excuse after excuse for everything. And if they think that it's going to make money, they're going to do it. Just plain and simple.
I don't think that they're going to gate a capital ship behind the brand new Galactic Legend. They've never done a GL capital ship. I know people like to call Executor and Leviathan and Profundity GL capital ships. That's just a terminology that we came up. They're not GL capital ships. They're just legendary capital ships, guys. They are already aware that people are not enthralled about getting ships in general. People have a far lower proclivity to invest in fleets than they do in squad units, okay? So if you were to gate behind a capital ship around the brand new marquee, brand new Galactic Legend that also already has 3 Relic 9s, as well as a whole host of pirates that you need to farm and get up to Relic 7 to 5, 5 to 7, roughly, that's way too much of a barrier to entry for CG. I mean,
look, they charge us anywhere from $100 to $300 per character release as a marquee to start playing it, within the first week. Yeah, if we can normalize that, then they can normalize gating a capital ship behind a Galactic Legend, especially since capital ships are where most players get the bulk of their crystal income through Fleet Arena.
Yeah, he's absolutely right about that. Fleet Arena is very, very important to maintain top of Fleet Arena if you want to try and advance your roster really quickly. We all want those 400 crystals a day, absolutely no doubt about it. But unless this fleet were to completely hardgate anybody and everybody from getting first, unless you happen to have it, nobody's going to just go balls to the wall crazy outside of the really, really big whales like myself and all of the top-end TW guilds and anybody that cares about GAC in a massive, massive way. That being said, it's still a massive barrier to entry, and they don't want people to be waiting. They want people to hit it now and straight away. And if people haven't been farming pirates, and from what I gather, most people aren't, it's just pushing it out further and further. They've missed the boat, as it were. They've missed the boat. We're already starting to get... Captain Athano is now farmable, right? So they missed the boat on having people whale for the capital ship if it's tied to a galactic legend.
So if they don't do that, though, option B would be Brutus and the recent Skeleton Crew capital
That's
ship
far
that we
more
saw
likely.
in several episodes of the Skeleton Crew. And I think Brutus is the logical fleet leader for that, not Silvo. He's, spoiler alert, he is in charge until about 20 minutes into episode 1, where Brutus overthrows him. Mutiny.
Yep, this makes sense. It makes sense having the Onyx Cinder have Captain Silvo and Smee as the 2 pilots of that ship, because we didn't get the kids, and I doubt we do get the kids at any given point. So it would make sense.
And then as far as the rest of the fleet, look, we only need 5 ships to round out a fleet.
Yep.
I actually pointed this out nearly 3 years ago in a video that was pretty popular for my channel, that I said 5 is the new 7. You don't need 7, you only need 5. And here we've got them.
I mean, the only reason we need 5 for many ships is because that's how CG has built the galactic challenges. You know what I'm saying? For a full fleet, you need 5. There are many fleets that operate perfectly well with just 3 ships. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't really need reinforcements for the Profundity. You don't really need reinforcements for the Malevolence. You know,
See,
5 is fine.
Why
Don't get me
did
wrong.
Capital Games put Sana Staros and Enfys Nest in the pirate lineup? Was it just to give us an early, usage when they gave us Etano? I don't think so. I think it was because they knew this was coming and they needed pirate ships.
I think it was more to try and bulk out raid teams. We didn't have anything. There were no pirates, basically, in the game, and we knew they were getting a pirate faction to come in the raid, so they had to try and spread some of the love around.
Sana Staros had her own, the Volt Cobra, and Enfys was seen using the buckshot in the Solo movie. Vane was presented a couple of times in a couple of different places. If we jump over here, so here's Vane in The Mandalorian. We see him flying a snub fighter a couple of times in Light, in Darkness, and then he was, of course, in Skeleton Crew also. So we know Vane is a capable pilot. In Skeleton Crew, unfortunately, we see it mostly getting blown to high waters, but that is the potential capital ship right there, if it's not Hondo. Now, what about Hondo? I mean, Hondo is my hope. This is one of spoiler alert here. Hope you've watched the Clone Wars and Rebels. I don't remember which.
Don't judge me.
When this came from, but there's Hondo escaping on his potential capital ship, and he has a whole fleet of pirates that you see him with a couple of times.
Seems very small.
And then
for a
Etano right
capital
here,
ship.
people totally forget that Etano and Quiggle are actually in A Force Awakens. I heard a lot of people go, "Who are they? Where were they? What? Why are they basically making up characters that being?"
Yeah, let's be real. Nobody knew who they were.
Capital Games.
They have
They're
like
not making
6.5
characters.
seconds
They were
screen
in The
time.
Force Awakens. Here they are. They're talking to Finn. They walk out the building together, and then they go board his ship, which I just called the Martini. I know it's not called the Martini. It's actually called the Misan Martinet. Probably saying that wrong. And then, of course,
no idea.
Silvo and Smee. Smee is a call out to Smee, Captain Hook's first officer in Peter Pan, another Disney franchise. But the Onyx Cinder would round that out.
I don't think Peter Pan is a Disney franchise. I know they have Disney films, but isn't it originally a book? It was a book that got adapted into a Disney film?
So we have a fighter, we have 3 more pirate ships, and then we got the Onyx Cinder, which is, spoiler alert, actually a really amazing ship.
It is actually a really cool
what
ship.
would be really, really cool, though unlikely, because there is some little synergy actually, or little shout outs between Dooku and Hondo, is if they also brought us Dooku's Solar Sailor and make that like a separatist lifter, but also a pirate ship. This is just kind of a filler for people who aren't able to get everything up.
That's a pretty cool idea, to be fair. I think if they do release Dooku as give a ship for Dooku to help bolster up, say, Malevolence or even Trench's ship, then absolutely Dooku Solar Sailor would be a great ship to have. I don't think it will give a pirate
but
synergy,
could still
but why
get some
not?
immediate benefit. Like, that would be really, really, really awesome. So now, where's that writing that I mentioned? The writing is on the wall, I said. What on earth am I talking about? Well, in each of the marquee characters, when they introduced them in the game, and I do mean each of them, there was a direct reference to the word crew. And what's notable is that in the game, any pilot is not referred to as a pirate, they are referred to as a crew member. So these are all of our pilots or admirals in the game. They are crew members. So Capital Games, being as they should be meticulous with their wording, should be aware of this, that they mention crew or a ship attribute or even a ship name in every single one of these intros. And unfortunately, I didn't get screenshots of all of them. But this is Vanes saying when paired with a crew of pirates. Over here, we have Quiggled. Quiggled, they don't say crew, but they said a skilled ship's gunner. They are literally...
Okay, yeah. All right, so a group of pirates is often called a crew. Quiggled was the ship's gunner. I get it, like, but I don't know. Seems a little bit clutching at straws.
Saying he is a crew member right there. He operates the gun on a ship. Then we have the only other one I screenshot was Vane. No, not Vane. At the top here, Brutus says a valuable addition to any pirate crew. So that was in game, but it goes deeper than this. If we go look at the EA forum postings where they do their kit reveals, here's Silvo. It says it commands a cunning crew, and then Vane again has nope, it was just in the end game, I think, on Vanes. But then Brutus, they mention being skeleton crew. Yes,
it's the name of the show.
That's the title of the show, but it is still a way to throw that word crew in there. Quiggled, once again, we got reference to him being a crew mate. This is actually Kix, and Kix is quite literally a crewmate of Captain Itano's pirate crew. Then
that's why he's part of the team.
We have Itano himself. Crew, there he is. Where can I learn more about him and his crew? More of the crew and his ship right there, with a reference to Count Dooku. Look at that. Look.
Count Dooku is a requirement for Pirate King Hondo. They're just joining the... I get where you're coming from, Gerbil, but it's quite often to call a group of pirates a crew, you know, because they're often on ships. Pirate ships. I'm not saying it can't happen. I just think it's a little... I don't know. I think you're taking a small thing and you're
get that right.
Getting your tinfoil hat
featured
on.
In the story, the Crimson Corsair. Corsair is also the name of a ship, and the lost treasure of Count Dooku. So we have interactions with Dooku and ships.
Again, that's why Dooku is a requirement.
And the name of a ship. And I first stumbled on this thought back when Conquest character Smee was introduced. And that was because he had multiple references to ships in his in-game announcement. And he has the unique ability titled First Mate of the Onyx Cinder. That's a ship, right? We have ships named in their kits. We have the word crew appearing over and over again. We have references to other ships being named in introductions like Itano, right? So it's highly, highly probable, and it makes perfect sense to do this. It has a tangential benefit for the entire community, whether you want this or not. First off, it breaks the staleness of the fleet meta. It allows people to do something different for the first time in 2 years in a video game. And think about how astonishing that is. The second thing it does for us, and this one is even more important, is right now, every 2 weeks, a new character comes out. And if you're chasing a character, a GL or something, then you are perpetually gearing these things up. Like, I want so much to gear up other characters, but I cannot because I have to gear this up instead, right?
My brother, you have 13.7 mil GP. You don't have much to gear.
Anybody chasing anything feels the pressure to do that. But if they shift it to an era of not characters, but an era of ships, then as we're gearing these up, it gives us time to catch up on the pirate crew. And if you don't care about that, and you're comfortable and fine staying where you are with whatever fleet you have, then it gives you an opportunity to go look at either other Order 66 teams. Maybe you want to go back to your Jedi Vanguard, or maybe you want to go chase a personal favorite like a Jawa squad or an Old Republic squad, right? It gives you an entire era
coming next
to catch up on something you want to do rather than something you feel forced to do with regard to characters. So yeah, I sincerely think that if this isn't the next era, it will be imminently following. So if you completely ignored your characters in the pirate faction and you want to stay relevant in the next ships, this is where I would go, folks. Other than that, beyond this evidence, your guess is as good as mine as to what's coming. So I guess we'll all be pleasantly surprised, or maybe I'll be going, I told you so, in a week and a half, which is what I'm hoping to do. Otherwise, folks, thank you for watching. I do appreciate it. Please smash that like and subscribe. Pretty please. Less than
Gerbil's doing my job for me. Thank you so much. But do make sure you give him a like and subscribe.
A fourth of you who watch my channel are actually subscribed.
So, real talk. I think what he's saying does have a little bit of legs, a little bit of relevance. Absolutely. I think he's clinging a little bit too heavily onto the terminologies used inside of the descriptions. Like I said, my big bone of contention is using the word crew around pirates is just this kind of synonymous, right? A pirate and his crew, that's just kind of synonymous language. And yeah, you could talk about, the name of the short stories where these characters feature, and there's like, it talks about a ship, the Crimson Corsair. It's because that's the story that has these characters in it. And those characters work with Count Dooku, and Count Dooku is a requirement for Hondo. He also, has interactions with Hondo and stuff like that. It's like creating connections where there aren't any is the issue I think that we've got here. Now, do I think we could potentially have ships for pirates come out? Yes, absolutely I do. And I think the ships that he's chosen is completely relevant. I do not think we'll get Pirate King Hondo's ship. I think it's far more likely we get Brutus's capital ship. Onyx Cinder I think is almost certain. The Maison Martinet, or whatever it is, Martinet, probably quite likely. Maybe we get Sana's, maybe we get, I think we absolutely get Vane's. Maybe we get Nests and all that. I don't think Dooku is a thing that's going to be for the pirates. Absolutely not. I think it would probably be a separatist lifter down the road. Do I think this is coming next? Maybe. Probably not. I think it's far more likely that we bend our focus towards The Force Awakens right now. Simply because this December is the 10-year anniversary of The Force Awakens, and usually when there's an anniversary, we have things that go towards it. Heck, even Ithano and Quiggold are in The Force Awakens. It's sort of already set it up, and Maz Kanata, who we're about to unlock as well. So I think it's more likely we do something that celebrates The Force Awakens and ends up in us unlocking Snoke. So maybe we get something like, the First Order officer with the truncheon that faces off against Finn and yells "Traitor!" That dude, and it ends up in a Snoke unlock, and maybe Snoke becomes a lifter for C that actually works instead of Bane, who is just, objectively better to be separated from C in almost all circumstances, so people can gain the benefits. I do think at some point we could absolutely get a pirate fleet, and I think it would be very, very good for the game, and I would love to have a pirate fleet. The party mentions about, if you don't like pirate fleets, it gives you the option to focus on other areas of your roster. Absolutely, but that's true of anything, right? People have said already, and this is part of my bone of contention with it, is people have not been investing in pirates because they're just not enthralled. If you throw a capital ship locked behind GL Hondo, people are going to be absolutely put off. Almost nobody's getting Hondo day one. Obviously, endgame players, they're going to be getting it. I'll get it. Arnold will get it. All the big guys are going to be getting it because we are at the end game. The only thing we have to farm is the new stuff, right? So I would like to see it, but I don't think it's coming now. Maybe the era afterwards. I don't know. So if they did actually release a GL Hondo capital ship, then it would be a little bit more attainable. People would have had like 6 months to try and farm up these characters that all be freely farmable, that sort of thing. I don't think necessarily we would have to worry if they release these ships. It's like, what if you didn't get the marquees unlocked? You can't unlock the ship, right? I imagine if they did a marquee for the Onyx Cinder, they would probably rerun the marquee for Captain Silver. That's another good point, actually. You'd be completely locked out unless you had Smee, and Smee is a conquest unit. That makes it very, very difficult. That makes it very, very difficult for you to have a operatable fleet, right? Because Smee is not in Proving Grounds, obviously. He hasn't been around long enough. He was the one before Maz Kanata, so you've lost the opportunity to heavily invest in him and unlock him. You're just going to be at the mercy of gaining 5 shards here, 5 shards there. So it's further sort of limiting the pool of players right now as to who could unlock it. It's a little bit different when you look at, you know, Captain Silver and Quigold and Kix and stuff like that. They can just re-release those marquees, right? And Brutus as well. Nest is obviously an old character, and so is Sarnastaros. Those are not so bad, and Vayne as well, you know, they just re-released the marquee. But Smee is a little bit of a blocker when it comes to actually making this ship viable. So again, it goes against the whole Pirate King Hondo. Don't think so, because you'd need Smee and you'd need to have a new GL to unlock a new fleet. That's a massive, massive barrier to entry for most people. So yeah, no, I don't think so. I don't think so. You know, it could happen eventually. It could happen eventually, and I'd be here for it. We are way overdue getting a new fleet. Way, way overdue. So I would be absolutely here for it, but I just don't think it's happening right now. Like I said, maybe the time afterwards, maybe the era afterwards. I think we're going to see something more sort of first order / resistance based. Maybe we'll get a new Phasma. You know, maybe we'll get some other, you know, smaller side characters. Maybe we'll get something ending up in General Leia or something like that. Who knows? Who knows? There are options available to us in the long run. But anyway, guys, make sure you have put your ally code down in the comments section down below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. I will be doing a draw for these winners. There will be 5 of you in later on this week. On Thursday, I will announce that, and hopefully we'll get those shards out to you lickety-split. Absolutely amazing, guys. I will see you all in the very next video. Make sure you join my Discord and let me know that you have put your name in the cap, and I will absolutely be going through and looking for a winner. The voting will be closed for that, and I will announce it on my video on Thursday, so keep your eyes peeled for that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you all in the very next video. Peace out, and may the Force be with you.